It's that time again where we take a look at some hardware, and we're going to be taking a look at the official Super EverDrive. Not the Chinese knockoff version, the real deal. Now, some people might be wondering, why would you buy a Super EverDrive when you can buy the SD2SNES? Surely the SD2SNES plays everything, as some certain YouTubers seem to think so, but that's complete and utter bull because it doesn't play everything. But it does have some advantages over the Super EverDrive. But is it really worth the cash? Now at the moment, the SD2SNES costs almost twice as much as the Super EverDrive. But what do you get for your extra money? Well, let me tell you. Now I've actually written this down on paper because I want to get this right. So the Super EverDrive cannot play special chip games apart from DSP chip games. That's DSP 1, 2, 3 and 4. And even that is an option. But even with that option added, it's still around about $80 cheaper than an SD2SNES. Okay, so what does the extra $80 get you when you buy an SD2SNES? Well, you can play ST010 games, which basically only includes Exhaust Heat 2, or I think it was called F1 Rock 2 in the States. One game, okay. You can play CX4 games, games with a CX4 chip in them, and that consists of Mega Man X2 and Mega Man X3. Okay, 3 games. Okay, you can play SRTC games, which consists of Daikaiju Monogatari, which is an RPG. Okay, 4 games. And of course, you can play MSU1 games. Now, MSU1 games are basically games that take advantage of the extra hardware inside the SD2SNES. The only game really that's worth considering is the port of Road Avenger or Road Blaster, depending on which region of the world you live in. Everything else just seems to be a normal Super Nintendo game with a CD soundtrack, or a hack with new graphics and a CD quality soundtrack. Not exactly worth shelling out the money for, in my opinion. So basically, the SD2SNES lets you play 4 official games that the normal Super EverDrive cannot play. Okay, now to clear up the rumors, the SD2SNES will not work with Super Famicom Turbo games, or Su Fami Turbo games, to give it the real name. It doesn't work with Super FX chips 1 or 2, SA1 chips, SDD1 chips, ST011 chips, ST018 chips, and the SP7110 chips. All games that feature those chips don't work at all, and of course they don't work on the Super EverDrive either. So, is the SD2SNES really worth buying over the Super EverDrive? Well, I don't know. My personal opinion, I don't think it is. Then again, the SD2SNES does have some advantages over the Super EverDrive, as well as playing normal games. It loads games a hell of a lot quicker than this does. This does take quite a while. I mean, a good 30 seconds to load a big size game. It also has more options for saving games, which this does not feature. Of course, on the Super EverDrive, you can save your game progress, you can play your RPGs, and you can back up your save data. But apart from that, this does pretty much everything the SD2SNES does. So anyway, let's stop yapping and plug it into the Super Famicom and see what it's like running. Just like the Mega EverDrive we looked at last time, this also has a main menu. As you can see here, we're changing the ROM type to low high ROM. You can also change the ROM size, RAM size, switch off the DSP, switch the reset on or off, which basically means when you press reset, the game will reset, or if you press reset with the reset switched on, it will go straight back to the EverDrive menu. You can also enter in your game tuning cheats here, which work absolutely flawlessly, and of course see some information about the Super Famicom or SNES and the actual EverDrive itself. So let's take a look at some of the stuff which you can actually see on the EverDrive. So one good thing about using the Super EverDrive is you get to see some excellent BSX Satellaview software. Here we go with the Chrono Trigger music library, which actually plays all the music tracks in the same order as the official CD soundtrack. How about that for cool? And if listening to music isn't your thing, then how about a bit of F-Zero 2, which was only released in Japan on the BSX Satellaview system. Basically it's F-Zero 1 with remix tracks. Pretty cool. Another great thing about this Super EverDrive is the ability to see tech demos running on real Super Nintendo or Super Famicom hardware. Check out this official Squaresoft Mode 7 tech demo. And how about rickrolling your friends with a bit of Rick Astley? Oh yes! Now I better keep talking over this, otherwise this video is going to get done for copyright strike straight away. Now as you can see, it's very blocky, but with a bit of video editing we can zoom that back, and yeah, it kinda looks like you're looking at a multi-screen video version of Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. Pretty cool. While the video might be as blocky as hell, at least the sound quality isn't too bad. Kind of impressive for a Super Nintendo, don't you think? Okay, let's better get rid of that. Oh, I wonder if I got away with that without getting a copyright strike, who knows. Okay, and don't forget, you also got all the Crackers demos. These are the type of things which Crackers make just to, you know, show off what they can do on the hardware. Now, while the Mega Drive has loads of really impressive tech demos by Crackers and hacking groups and so on, the Super Famicom doesn't really have as many. I mean, it's got a few and some of them are quite nice, but there just doesn't seem to be as much interest in it in modern times. Back in the day though, there was loads. Like this one. This is the Elitendo cracking intro, or the crackdro, which was used on various games. This one was actually used on the Smurfs. I love this because of the speech samples. Another great thing you can do with a Super EverDrive is play homebrew games on the real hardware, of course. This is a pretty interesting fly a rocket with a cat strapped to it game. I really do like the graphic style in this game. It's very unique. The gameplay is kind of simplistic. You just hold down the button to go up, let go of the button to go down. The idea is not to touch anything at all. Kind of like the games you get on mobile phones these days. And how about this kind of classic looking arcade game called BioWorm? Get ready. The idea of this game is very simple. Just scroll around the level and shoot everything in sight. Very simple, but very addictive. Great sound as well. And here's a type of asteroids clone with various different weapons and the shields by the looks of it. This one never actually got finished by the looks of it, it's still early in development. And how about a remake of the classics? Here's the original Donkey Kong. but it's known as Classic Kong. And the best thing about this is that it actually does play like the real arcade game. It's really good. And nothing's better than playing this on real hardware.
The year is 2008. Players from all around Germany are gathering.
This is N-Warp's Die Sachsen. Pretty impressive the amount of speech in this.
Tonight, they're gonna fight it out. N-Warp, Die Sachsen. Welcome to N-Warp Die Sachsen. Plug 2 multi-tabs and the appropriate amount of joy-pads into your SNES and you can enjoy this game with up to 8 players simultaneously. In order to join the upcoming battle, you just have to hit any button on your joypad. Commencing battle in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1...
So as you can clearly see, this is a Battle Royale type game. Up to 4 players at once can wander around the map and beat the crap out of each other. Sadly, I'm playing on my own here, like a loner. And yes, even the Japanese were in on this homemade Super Famicom game stuff. And yes, I should guess it's a bit pervy. This is basically Othello. But the pervy aspect, of course. It's gotta be, it's Japanese. I really don't get the appeal of having little kiddie characters. Kinda sick, really. But it is actually a pretty good game of Othello, believe it or not. And after we finish with the homebrews, we've also got the hacks. Some hacks are pretty crap, they're just like colour palette swaps or whatever. But this one's kind of interesting. We got a new graphical layout and you get to play as Luigi instead of his fat ass brother. And yes, even Sonic the Hedgehog is on the Super Nintendo, and why not since Mario is on the Mega Drive. This is actually a hack of Speedy Gonzales, which was an officially released Super Nintendo game. It's kind of odd though because this does have Mario in it as well, for checkpoint stops. And of course you can play normal games. So let's have a bit of a montage of some normal Super Nintendo Super Famicom games running through the Super EverDrive. So there we have it, a look at the Super EverDrive in action. So now you know what this can do. Do you really think it's worth paying the extra $80 for the SD2SNES up there? Well, personally I don't, but that's just my opinion. You may have different opinions and that's fine. Whatever suits your needs. But if you are strapped for cash and you don't want to buy some cheap Chinese junk, I would certainly recommend picking up the official Super EverDrive from Crix, I hope I pronounced that right, .com, the official store for the official EverDrive. And by the way, this video is not endorsed or paid for by Crix. I'm just doing this to inform people about the Super EverDrive. Great item to have. Okay, until next time, when we take a look at this Super EverDrive over here, or should I not say Super EverDrive, I should say the PC Engine Turbo EverDrive. So keep an eye open for that video coming up sometime in January.